Hi, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. This is Marcia Harris here with Sia's Bite and a Mouthful. I trust that you have had an amazing weekend and that you have been anticipating this evening as much as I have. And I just want to take a moment to thank you for your time, for, just being here with me and with my guests. Your presence do mean a lot to me and to my guests. I know you have many other things that you could be focused on, but thank you so much for your support. And so this evening, I have three amazing persons joining the program this evening. And this program, we want it to be informative, educational, and at the end of the day, we just want you to leave more inspired than you came. And so, without further ado, I'm just going to be bringing on screen with me Miss Verona Willis Brown, author, podcaster. Here we go. There she is, ladies and
Hello.
gentlemen. Verona Willis Brown.
How are you?
I am awesome. How are you, Verona?
I am doing quite well, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
And so, they say that behind every good man, there's good woman. But now we are going to say behind or beside us as good women, we have to have a man, strong, healthy looking, robust looking man. So
Yes.
without further ado, um, Mr. Junior Speculus. And here we go. That's the handsome guy there. I mean, I think he has made a lady a queen, right, Verona?
That's right. That's it.
Right.
That's
Thank you so much. Our other guest is not yet here with us, but she will be joining us later. She should be joining us later. And as soon as she does, then we'll introduce you and head you to this to the medium. So they said lady before gentleman. So I'm going to open the floor to you, Miss Verona. I'm not even going to read a script about who you are. I'm going to ask you to tell us who is Verona Willis Brown.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for having me here today. This is just quite an honor to be here in your presence. And I mean, I feel so special being in the middle of a king and a queen. Hey, listen. So much about that. I am just simple. I am a podcaster, a published author, a dedicated mother, and all the good stuff that you can think of. But beside all of that, I was that struggling mother who is now saying, I am free enough to raise my own self. So that's it about me. Just follow me and you see all the goodies.
Okay, awesome, awesome, Verona. Thank you. You see, reading a script about someone is different than when somebody tells you who they are, because
Absolutely.
anybody can write a script, right? But
Yes.
then only you know who you are inside out, you
Yeah.
know? So, Junior, do you want to tell us just who you are?
But
And
I'm still backstairs. You didn't, but my name is Junior Speculus. I'm a college graduate, former teacher. I'm a radio DJ and engineer tech. Uh, I'm from originally from Jamaica, and I live here in the States. And my radio station, talk about a little about my radio station. I'm here to promote and new talents and reach a wide audience. Try to reach people like who far away from hearing good reggae music. So I want to keep the culture going and establish establish my business so I can showcase talents, and pretty much that's about it.
Okay, okay. And before we go any further, I have Miss Jennifer Gray Henderson, Andrews, sorry, and she is in our studio, and I'm just going to be heading her at this moment to the stream. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jennifer Gray.
Hello, everyone. Hello,
Hi,
hello,
Jen. I
hello.
hope I didn't take you.
Hi, Marcy. How you
Hey, how
doing?
you doing? It's great to
Good,
see
good.
you.
Look at you. You just like, I'm so proud of you.
Hey, guys. So,
You're
Facebook
doing
land.
a wonderful job. Wonderful,
Thank you,
wonderful,
Jen. Thank
wonderful.
you, thank you,
Hi,
thank you.
Junior. Hi, Verona. How you
Hey.
Hi,
doing?
hi.
So, Facebook land, I am blessed because the reason that I am here with you all this evening is because of these three amazing persons. And as a matter of fact, I just met Verona maybe a month ago, right?
Correct.
Junior and I actually grew up together. I mean, we haven't seen each other for years, but like we're from Jamaica, and we went to like the same primary school, what you would call, junior, whatever, middle school here. And so we go a long way back, and we only just met, and everything is a purpose driven, right? Because I only came in contact with Junior maybe I think November, December of 2019, after maybe well over almost 40 years. And so we have an alumni, and Junior came out in support of his alumni, and that's how we actually met. And so I don't even have a telephone number for Junior, and I'm sure that he doesn't have one for me until the show was being arranged. But he would always reach out to say hi on Messenger, and I would respond. And
Mhm.
then I just like, I want to start a podcast. And he was like, go for it, go for it. But honestly, this podcast has been something that has been in the making for over a year. My phone will tell the story because that's where I make all my notes. Jennifer knows this, that I have been shying away from doing this program for, as I say, well over a year. Why? Because I'm afraid of what people will say. What if I make a mistake? What if something does not come off right? And then she would always, Jen was taking me through different channels, do this, do that, taking me through the different, stream yards, through, what's the other one named Anchor? I can't
Zoom,
forget that one because I always,
Anchor,
if the name
Anchor
skips me,
FM.
I remember Anchor Butter, right? So that's what always. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just here to tell you it's not about being perfect. It's just about keep keep going, putting
Yeah.
one foot in front of the other. And if you stumble, if you can't get up, at least keep rolling. Somebody will see you rolling and wonder, why is she on the ground instead of standing up, and will probably lend you a hand. But if you fall and you just lie there, makes no sense. So
Right.
whatever you want to do, I'm going to implore you to put one foot forward. You might stumble, but then you'll never know until you plant your foot down, then you'll realize that you're on solid ground. So I don't want to take up all of this time just talking, talking, talking. Verona and Junior have already introduced themselves. So I'm going to give the floor to Miss Jennifer because, as I said, I don't want to
Please.
tell people who you are from a script. I want you to tell the public who you are, what you do, and then as we flow into the program, then you can give us additional information.
Oh my gosh. Let me just open this up a little bit because now This is the challenging part because it is my introduction along with who am I? My name is Jennifer Gray, and I am a native born Jamaican. Can I say Jamaican? Because I was born in Jamaica, but I grew up here in the United States. My parents are immigrants, and I've been in this country for a while. Now, basically, what I do is I'm a transformational life coach for people, men, well, basically women. 70% of my clients are women, and the other 30% are men. And I'm a transformational life coach for people in transition in the second stages of life, where I support them in discovering their self again after divorce, empty nesters, during or after menopause, midlife crisis, if they have intimacy or sexual dysfunction, anxiety, fear relationship, career transition, grief, loss of a job, retirement, or other consequential changes that may be either emotional, logistical, or perhaps health related or financially related. I focus on self love, self compassion, self awareness, self respect, shame resistance, inner peace, and I support them in unleashing the great value and the inner beauty that is within them to set them up to thrive no matter what season of life that they may be in. Uh, I'm the author of 3 books: My Journey to Healing, Business Success for Coaches and Counselors, Marketing Basics Led by the Spirit, and I had to overcome a lot of challenges as adult illiteracy at the age of 38. I'm really big on education, and I'm really big on self growth and personal growth. I also overcame a 25-year long drug addiction, childhood trauma, 3 suicide attempts, domestic violence, emotional, physical, mental, and sexual abuse. And I'm here to empower my clients and to assist them with the inner healing, as well as helping them with learning to love themselves a little bit more and help them to grow their business and to take it to the next level, to live a life of true freedom without any guilt, shame, or fear of success. Now, my mission is to change the world while helping others change their mindset and the way that they see themselves, along with other people, to become the best version of themselves, to love themselves, live truly authentic and free while learning how to grow, network, to market, and to do business ethically. And I say ethically because as you grow, you're going to be put in situations where your values and your morals will be
Will be
questioned.
questioned.
You understand? And you have to live within that value system. Now, you have to be a reasonable person who believes that. I believe that I'm a reasonable person, and I believe that the fate of the world will be decided by those who connect with their passion and purpose in life. And I draw from over a decade of experience and study in the arenas of psychology, human behavior, success achievement, social entrepreneurship, philanthropy, money mindset, communication, personal development, creativity, and spirituality.
Okay,
And
Miss Jennifer. So you have, I mean, I hear the coach in you coming out because I'm sure you could be speaking until tomorrow. But guess what? We
we
have
only
about
have
an
half an
hour or
hour.
more in this
Really?
program. And so we're just going to be
That's
spreading it
my
out because I
introduction.
know you
Sorry,
have a
honey.
whole lot to share. Um, But if you notice, I kind of put a little subtopic to this evening's program.
Mm.
And I spoke about the talent because you remember in the Bible, the Lord gave different people different, he gave one, he gave one three, he gave one five. But we noticed that the one who got the five went and he traded and he, built on his thing. The one who got the three also did. But the one who got the one, what did he do with it?
Nothing.
It could be
He
sheep,
buried it.
It could also be sheep.
He
So
buried
we're
it.
not just
He
gonna bash
buried
the
it.
men. There are three of us tonight, Junior, and we're not gonna gang up on you. So we're gonna just
Yeah.
take it for granted that that talent could also have been given to a female. So you see, we're taking a little bit of the blunt off you,
Well,
So
it's
Yeah.
Men's Month.
yes. So we can't forget that either. It's time to empower ourselves. But
Yeah.
how do we view the talents that we are given? And before I even get to that, as I was saying to the viewers earlier on, that this is our second week. This is our second program. And the reason why I chose you three to be my special guest this evening, as I was saying earlier on, pretty much you have mentored me into being here tonight, into sitting where I'm sitting tonight. I think the Lord has given me quite a lot of talents. And as an event planner as one of the businesses that I do, I would always, I would get people who come to me from scratch, know nothing about event planning. And I would teach them. And guess what? Some of them would go on and do businesses on their own after a while. But people were like always saying to me, why are you training people? And then, they come and they do their business and they're gone leaving you. And I'm like, you know what? What I am doing, I realize that it's a talent. I would say to people, you can never come to me and say to me, Jennifer, that, hey, I was at Verona's wedding and you did X, Y, and Z. So I want my wedding to look the same way. Because guess what? When I'm done with Verona's wedding, I don't even remember what I did.
Right.
So talent, it's revolving. So I have no issues in teaching someone something because by the time you catch up to where I am, I'm gone. I'm past that.
Absolutely.
So, the thing is that, as I said, not many people are willing to share knowledge. So I'm going to throw it out to Junior as the only man amongst us. Junior,
Yeah.
why is it that you took me on as a challenge? It's not that we are close friends. It's not that we have been associated over the years. Why did you take on the challenge of saying to me, Marcia, you can do this. Go ahead and do it. Because not very many people are willing to share a field that they're in. Why did you do it?
Well, I've been watching you live some of the times when you go lives, and I think you have ideas of certain things, and you know, listen to you. I think you could bring forward uh, to a wider audience. You can express yourself and maybe save some lives too.
Wow.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Thank you so much. Thank you. I have a testimony to share. Verona knows a part of it, but I don't think that this is the forum. I don't think the Lord is ready for me to share it as yet. And, as I said, I've been running away from this for maybe over a year. But sometimes, you come to a point when your back is against the wall and you are either forced to defend yourself or to die. And that is why I am here tonight. So, Miss Verona, why would you take on little me that you don't even know? I mean, why would you take me on? Why encourage me? Why? What? Because you're a podcaster, you're an author like myself, right? Why would you want to basically have someone as a competition in your business. There's someone who has a phone going. Why would you be saying to me, Marcia, let's do it, or Marcia, do it, and go to the point where you actually like took me through StreamYard, took me through the whole process? You know, why did you do it, or why have you done it?
I don't believe in competition.
Good.
And I'm going to say that again. I don't believe in competition. I believe we're all created to complete our own assignment.
Mm-hmm.
I consider myself like a midwife to production, to creativity. I'm that midwife. I am that midwife that sit and watch you with one letter until you can write a book. I am that midwife that says, look at you and said, you are broken, but you are not lost. I am that midwife that's full of inspiration, that's overflowing, that when I open my mouth, I am giving birth.
Nice.
I am giving birth. I am giving life. I don't believe anything beside life. I give life when I speak, because life is what planted in me. I came from life and I gave it back. So when I see one person cross my path, that one person didn't just cross my path out of chance. That person was sent to me.
Wow.
You were sent to me. And because you were sent to me, I have to deliver that baby. I have to deliver what you are carrying, because that's my assignment. I didn't just born because I want to be here looking pretty. No, that don't have nothing to do with anything. I am a vessel, that midwife that is assigned to do what I'm created for. And again, we don't compete. We only complete what we were created for.
Wow. So we do not compete, we complete.
We complete what we were created for. There's no competition
Wow.
here. Your
Wow.
eyelashes, my eyelashes. How could we compete when we are not the same? Your eyelashes are not my eyelashes.
Mm.
Your hair is not my hair. Your skin is not my skin. We came from one source. However, we're not the same. There's no such thing. So why should we compete? Why should I compete with you? Because you have something else. That's called covetousness. I don't want what you have. What I have was planted already in me. So it's for me to mold what I have and expand it. Why should I take what you have? No. And us as sister got to come to terms of this. Us as sister, especially us as Black women, got to come to terms of this, that we are not competing with who have the biggest booty or the biggest boobs, and who have the most lashes or the fairest complexion. We are here to empower each other. We are here to say, sis, I see you're going a little bit slow. Let me stand with you.
Yep.
I see that you're walking at a pace. Let me walk with you. And that's what we're supposed to do as sisters. We're not here to tear each other down, and we're not here to compete with each other either. So we got to come to terms of this. And as we close March out as Women's Month, let us get that in our head, that we are not here to tear each other down. No.
Wow. We don't compete, we complete. Miss Jennifer, can I get a little, I don't want the whole mouthful right now, I just want a bite.
Well, the bite is, listen, the bite is that as women, especially Black women, you too, Junior, let me include the men, we have to learn, for real, as Black people, we have to learn, and I can say this, we have to learn to applaud each other, to be happy for each other, not to be jealous of each other, but to lift each other up. March is Women in Business Month, and we need our men, Junior, you understand, and those
Yep, I
men that
agree.
are listening to be happy for us.
Yes.
You understand? We need y'all to be happy for us. We need you to encourage us. You understand? Not to say, oh my God, she's doing this and there isn't any room for me. You understand? Because in any relationship and anything, if the wife is happy and prosperous, the man is happy and prosperous.
Right.
That means the family is happy and prosperous. You can't have one above the other. You understand? You have to have equal partnership. And when it comes equal support. And we have to learn that within the Black community, to learn to support each other, learn to be happy for each other, learn to lift each other up, learn to encourage each other. Because the Black on Black violence ain't going nowhere. The jails are full with all our Black men and women. What the heck is there if we don't stand together now? What the heck do you think is going to happen to us? You understand? If we can't learn to love each other, respect each other, honor each other, be happy for each other, be glad for each other, teach each other, empower each other. That means, sisters, right now, the men are struggling. That means we have to lift them up. Brothers, the women are struggling, lift them up. Not because there's something for you to get from it, but because you love them as your own people, as your own flesh and blood. And this is my thing right now, because if we do not come together, and I mean this sincerely, we have to start lifting each other up. We have to start helping each other. We have to start supporting each other and encouraging each other. Men, stop disrespecting these women, because they ain't your damn hoes. They're your mothers and your sisters, your daughters. You understand? And we are here to support you. Women, start respecting these men. Start respecting them. Why? Because whether or not we like it or not, they're here for us too. There's no competition.
So on that note, we spoke about women in business. Our population is mostly us, if you notice. So pretty much we have got to be wives. We have got to be mothers who are playing the role of fathers, because most of our fathers are absent. And Jennifer, you touched on an important topic there.
Girl, my mother raised 7 children by herself.
Could I follow up on a?
I'm not here for the man bash.
A little of what Jennifer said.
I'm not here to bash them. I'm not. And I won't go there, because my father, the best of him and the worst of him, at the end of the day, he was still my father.
Right.
All right. So let me hear what
listen, I'm serious. I have 7. My mother has 7 children, and I have 4 brothers, and I have 3 sisters. And the best of them or the worst of them, they still mine.
Absolutely.
You understand? So I'm not here to bash them. This is Women in Business Month. Women in be happy for the women that are doing in business. But this is from me, because when I was not there for me, they were there for me.
All right. So
we know what the past looked like. We know what the past looked like. We know that because of slavery and a lot of people don't like that.
Jen,
hold on, Marcia. Stick a pin, Marcia. We know that due to slavery, the Black family has been destroyed through the generations. You understand? Now, we can't help the fact that the system was designed against the minorities. You understand? They withheld funding. They withheld education. If you putting $750 million to build a jail, give me $750 million to send my kids to school. You understand? If you can do that, where is the community funding? They flood the communities with drugs. Okay, so what do they see?
All right, Jennifer, let me just chip in, Junior, here, because
I'm just saying,
you're going
on
other handles that, we are
Women
just
in Business Month, keep it Women in Business
yes,
Month.
but
do not
let us
bash
just
them.
let Junior into this conversation, because I just want to keep this conversational. It's 4 of us here, and so we just want to divide and make sure that everybody gets, their say in, and also that, there are different areas that we will be touching on as we go along. So we just want to just put a little bit of control to that. So Junior, you were trying to say now?
Yeah, I was just trying to follow up on the stuff she's saying, but she's saying a lot. There's a lot of information she covered right there. She's talking about the ladies that uh, respect men and men should respect women. It's all come back to the parenting. If the parents do not have respect, then the child not gonna have respect. So if you grow in a son and he don't have respect for you and you don't show him respect, whenever you go out on the street and see a woman out there, he's not gonna have respect for that woman. So it's all come from the parents, the home you brought up in. You don't have to be a mother and father in the house or a single parent, or is the way you raise a child, that child should go out and be a role model out there. Not
That
slavery, not slavery make the black people the way they are. The slavery is the past. We put that behind us. It's for us now to move forward and
Exactly.
and establish ourselves as human being. The you grow. I was raised in a single parent. I was raised by a single parent. I went to high school. I went to college, and I came out successful. And I grew up with a lot of guys who they becomes criminal. Some die, and I always say I could have been there what they were doing, but the way I was brought up to respect women, show respect to people, and that's the way I am. So
all
you
right.
can tell people to show respect. If they weren't taught to be respectful, then they're not gonna have any respect.
And then to Junior, what you say, yes, that might be true, but then again, remember also
Yeah.
that every person is
Have
born
their
with a
own.
mind,
Yes.
okay? And no
Yes. I
matter
know.
what, because guess what? You can have a child in the house, and that child is the best child ever.
Right.
But if a fly ever go out on that wall and come back and show you, I've known of instances where people are pastors, ministers, children grow up in the church. I mean, I'm just saying
Yeah,
that
yeah,
kind
that's
of show
happened.
you the kind of principle, the guideline that those kids have. And I know of instances where police have gone into pastor's house and found gun and drugs and stuff inside there. So it come back, Jennifer, that it you can do all that you can, but at the end of the day,
It's up to you.
influence has a lot to do with it. Peer
Exactly.
pressure
Yeah.
has a lot to do with it. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not
Individual.
talking about like certain areas, like, the what you call them now, the whatever, like these areas that have a lot of guns and stuff like that. Because in a lot of those areas, you find that a lot of times people become involved because of the threat to their families,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you either do this or your family is wiped out. I'm not talking about that kind of a situation. I'm talking about situation where sometimes it's greed and sometimes it's need.
Right. And at the end of the day, it's up to the individual.
It's up to the individual
We
at the
all have
end
a
of
single
the
mindset.
day,
We all have a
right?
single mindset. So you
That
can
is,
pour into
Yeah.
me, but it's up to you, because I could have poured into Marcia. Marcia
Mm-hmm.
could sit there and take what I pour into her, dismiss it, or keep
mm,
it. So it's always up to the individual. You
yes,
could have
it
12
is.
children in your house, and all 12 of them are different. All
Mm-hmm.
of them, because they all have their own mindset.
That is why the name of my coaching practice is Choices Life Coaching. What choices are you making in life? Are
Right.
you making the right choices? And I say choices because from the time we wake up to the time we go to sleep, do you know how many choices we make? Are we
But
making
Jennifer,
are we making
also,
the
do,
right choices in life? Are we?
do you realize my pastor would always say that sometimes some thoughts go through your mind, and sometimes you have to draw back and wonder, is this really me? Where did that come from? Oh, because we have the good, we have the bad. And
And
it's always like a struggle to see who is
Mhm.
going to win.
yes,
Because this pen does not belong to me. And I borrowed your pen, right? But it's a nice pen, right? And the struggle is there. I
should
mean,
I keep
I
it?
shouldn't even use pen because pen is one of the easiest thing for you to steal. But subconsciously, it's when you're conscious of something. Man, this pen looks
That's
too good, you know.
nice.
Don't think I want to give it back.
Mhm.
Let me see if I can find a way to keep it. And the little voice is saying to you, give it back. But then you're saying, no, man,
Well, it's nice.
This look too good for Jennifer. I mean, it should be mine. You know? So I mean, the
Yes.
different things that goes through our mind
Mm.
goes through our mind. It's amazing
And it
that
goes back to what I'm saying,
See,
Marcia.
that's where envy comes in.
Right, it
And
goes back to what I'm
I have
that's
been, listen, I have always been this type of person. I want my own. And when I say my own, I want my own everything. My mama taught me that. As many children as she had made sure that we all had our own, whatever it was. That means I don't want what you have. You understand? Because your gift and talent is for you. My
Absolutely.
gift and talent is for me. I can appreciate what you have, your gift and talent, and I can appreciate what you have, because a lamp set on a hill, God wants us all to shine. You understand? And I don't have time. And I tell people that all the time. I don't have time to be red-eye or envious of what another person has. I can't
grandma would
say,
have said long yai. Your granny would say long yai.
you understand? Everybody loved Bob Marley, but I can't sing like Bob Marley, but I can appreciate his music.
Music.
You understand what I'm saying? I can appreciate the gift and the talent that he has. Everybody loved Usain Bolt. I can't run like Usain Bolt. I stay in my lane, but I can appreciate what it is that he has and his gift, talent, and ability. And if we can learn to start celebrating each other, you understand, and acknowledging each other. Look at Marcia Griffith. Love Marcia Griffith. But we have to stop saying, I want to be like this person
And
or
that's
that
that
person,
goes back to what
and
I'm
just
saying.
be
Mhm.
yourself.
But
Yeah.
Jennifer, nothing is wrong with someone
Yeah.
saying that they would like to. I remember as a child growing up, there was
Role
this one
model.
lady in my community. And as far as I was concerned, when I grew up, I just wanted to be like her because she was tall, she was elegant, she was well spoken, she was always well dressed. And nothing is wrong with someone want to say, okay, growing up,
No,
there was this
It's a
no,
role
I
thing that was
model.
understand what you're
popular,
saying, because these people give you
Gallimore.
inspiration. These
Right. So
people
we
give you
draw
Yeah.
inspiration
inspiration.
from people, but
Yes.
it's just that we are not envious of them, but
There's a
we
difference.
aspire to be like them.
They're called
Correct.
role
They're
models.
role
Aspiration is what
models.
role
Correct.
Yes.
model.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
you know, as we talk about role models now, as as we are here as panelists,
Mm.
what can we, because this program is not about us coming and talking and sharing. We want at the end of the day for persons watching or for persons going in and seeing the replay, we want to leave something on the minds of everybody. We want to make a difference. We want to be able to make a change. How, Verona, how do you, let me find the word. What can people find in you to emulate that will make them into a better person?
You see, when I leave this earth, this is what I want people to know about me, that I was me. I was naturally me. I was uniquely me. I was authentic me. And that is what I want to spill out of my mouth, that you should become your authentic self. Even when it becomes hard for you to discover that, seek to find your authentic self. And when you do, remember, nobody can take that from you. So when I leave this panel or I leave this earth, I want you to remember that I was my authentic self. I was naturally me. I was not Marcia. I was Verona Willis Brown.
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. Couldn't have been better said. Now, Mr. Speculous, or let me go to Jennifer. Jennifer, give me 1 minute maximum. What? Yeah, I have to put a time on you because you're a time bomb. Tell me, what is it that you want persons to emulate about you the most?
Perseverance. Stick
Wow.
to it. Don't give up on yourself ever. Don't give up on yourself no matter what life throws at you or challenges that you may encounter. Never give up on you. Why? Other people may need you, but you need you too.
That's right.
Mm.
That's right. That's right.
You understand?
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
As a person, as a mom, a wife, a mother, a sister, a daughter, a friend, you can give to everybody.
And what happened to
But
you?
what are you giving to yourself?
Yes.
What are you giving to you? You understand? Everybody's not going to agree with your dream
Yeah.
or vision because God didn't give that dream or vision to that person. He had given it to you. And you cannot give up on yourself. Why? Because if you give up on you, as much as I may want the best for you, if you don't want it for yourself, you understand? I can want, like, I know people from my past, won't mention any names, that I want the best for them. But I can want till the cows come home. If they don't want the best for themselves, guess what? Guess what's going to happen?
Hmm.
Nothing.
Want nothing at all.
That's right. That's right.
Amen.
You
Mr.
understand?
Speculous, you
That's
can't
right.
make the ladies out, do you?
No,
Tell me
I'm
now,
listening to them.
as a
So
trained teacher,
yeah,
as a
as a
coach.
as a yes, what I would like others to see is my perseverance, my ability to get stuff done, and be a role model for yourself and for others to follow. When I was in high school, there was a new teacher that came to the school, and he was a track and field coach.
Mhm.
And that guy, I see so much in him, which I think I want to be like that person. Not to
Mhm.
be him. I want to do the stuff what he did. I I went to the same college he went to, and I become a teacher. And I went to the same school, the first school he went to teach. So you can be a role model for other people in a positive way, so they accomplish something. When I met up back with him, not in person, but on Facebook many years ago, and I said to him, "Sir, do you remember me?" He said,
Mhm.
"No." I said, "I was a student. You were my teacher, and you were my role model, and I become you in a positive way, not of jealousy, but the way you portray yourself and the way you model yourself. You let me want to be like you, not be in the same body, but to be in a positive way."
Yeah.
So if a child sees somebody doing something positive, and then they can follow that person. There are people that see people doing stuff and become role model like them, like criminals and lawbreakers. That's not a good role model
That's not
for
a good
who else
role
are
model.
living. But he was a guy. It was a teacher, which I sit there and he reasoned with me as a student and let me believe in myself that I can accomplish certain things. When other teacher would put me down and tell me that you can't do it, you can't. Like I remember when I left primary school before I went to Rosemont All Age School, my principal from the primary school, she met me in Linstead. I know Marcy, you know where the post office at. I met her right
Mhm.
at the post office. I never forget it.
Mhm.
And she asked me what I was doing in Linstead. I said, "I'm going to Rosemont School." She said to me, "Who authorized you to go to Rosemont School? Rosemont School is for people with brain like the
Wow.
Johnsons and Albert
Mhm.
Stevensons."
See that?
Mhm.
That's what the principal looked at me and said. I was just 11 years old.
Wow.
And I went on from that school, I went to high school. And from high school, I went to college and I become a teacher. And I said, I would love her to see me one day
Yeah.
and to tell her
Yes.
this is the
You, you,
reason
you,
why
you,
I
Yes.
was.
you know
Yes.
something, Junior? I'm happy you said that. I
Yes.
remember I had a teacher in
Yeah.
grade 3A. I will not call any name, but she was a young girl. She was a Browning, and she believed that, like me, I remember she used to call me, and you guys might have seen where I posted a picture recently of another young lady that looks exactly like I
Yes.
do, Carlis Natu. And she would look at Carlis and I and the other darker children in the class, and she would call us black girl and black boy,
Mm.
right? And as I
Colorism,
said, yes, and
colorism,
as I
Colorism.
said, because
colorism.
she was,
You know,
red
yeah.
and all of that.
Hi,
And then
Yella.
her thing was that no, she came into the area. We as Jamaican, we look up on people's skin color.
Yes.
Complexion,
And
Yes.
so
complexion.
when she
Yep.
wanted water to drink, she had kids who went to their houses nearby and brought her water up on a tray and glass. And because poor me live with my little granny, we wear our shoes and socks. So I mean, and I had to walk maybe a mile and a half to go home. You understand? So, and I remember that teacher telling me at 3.5, that I would never come to anything. But guess what? When I got to grade 7, Mrs. Giddon told me, she said, "You're going to be a great entrepreneur." All because of what? She gave me some oranges to sell, and I sold the oranges and I went back. And she was like, "Are you done already?" And I'm like, "Yes, miss." And she gave me some more, and I went off selling those, and I came back. And she looked at me and she said, "You have a skill. How do you sell all these oranges and stuff?"
Mm.
And I said, "I don't know, miss. I just sell. Because if I want to sell you something, if I really want to sell you something, Verona, Jennifer, Junior, I'm not coming
Yeah.
to say, can you buy this? I'm going to say, give me $5.
That's it. You go with
Give
the
me
end
$5.
result.
What
You
you
see
Yeah,
want?
that?
Give me
That.
Miss
$5.
Giddens was
I'll
my
tell you
teacher
when
too.
we're done. But,
Miss
she looked at me and she said, you're going to be a great entrepreneur. I didn't know what the word entrepreneur means. And so when she said that to me, I kind of look at her and she said, do you know who's an entrepreneur? I started to shake my head. I'm looking at Mrs. Giddens now sitting at her desk. And I started to shake my head. And then I remember, you can't shake your head at an adult. Worse, a teacher? No, you couldn't do that. And so I said, no, miss. And those days teachers had a little chair right beside them desk.
Yeah.
And she said to me, sit. And she told me it was an entrepreneur. There are two persons in life that I wish could see who I have become today. And one is my grandmother, and two is Mrs. Giddens, because she spoke it into my life.
Ain't that something?
And that's
Right?
it.
She
Yeah, Mrs.
spoke
Giddens
it
was my
into-
teacher too. She
and can I tell
motivated
you
me.
that I branched out into early childhood later on in my life, and had my own early childhood center and all of that in Jamaica. And every single child in that center had a name. Some was lawyer, some was prophet, some was teacher, some was doctor, I gave every single one of them a name that they could be proud of.
And let they use it, because that's the thing I believe when you deposit in children.
Exactly.
When you deposit in them, you have to know when you deposit in children and let it manifest itself. You see, when you see a child could be 9, 10, 11, even 3. And you say, I see you have the ability to become. You see, that word is very strong, to become. And when you're telling that person, I see you have the ability to become something, you are believing in that person wholeheartedly. Sometimes you know what happens? Sometimes we just need somebody else to add that little belief in us.
Okay.
And when you tell that child, you are Teacher Johnson, you are Nurse Brown, you are Dr. So-and-so, that is implanted in them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's planted. And negative things can be planted and positive can be planted.
Exactly.
Yep.
Junior spoke about that teacher Junior spoke about that gentleman just now who became his mentor. But then again, you know what? Junior is like a plant that just wants some water to soak up, because remember,
right.
He said this is a young man who grew up with a single mother.
That's right.
Right? So he just needed that male counterpart to just pour into him. And he found that person.
And that's
look
what
at
our
the
job's supposed to
change.
be.
And that's how it is
Yes,
supposed
exactly.
to be.
Yes, that's
So
what they're supposed to do. They're
that
supposed
is
to work in.
exactly. So that right there is a teacher who has not buried his talent, who did not just use his talent for himself. But, as I say, people come into our lives for reasons, for seasons, for time, for purpose. And guess what? As I've always said before, I don't know if you might have heard me saying it, that when someone comes into your life and they have accomplished what they came to do, no matter what you do, you cannot hold on to them, because their time is done and they have to go.
Yes, that's true.
Sometimes we see, Verona, you and I were talking the other day, and you said something very profound to me, and it resonated with me. And, I keep mulling it over. You said to me that there are some people in our lives who, when you are climbing, when you are going up the ladder, some of them you can't take them with you, because guess what? The rung of the ladder can't hold two of you. Because they might be overweight and you overweight. So if when you go on that rung together, you're going to break and both of you going to go right back down. You understand? And you didn't say it in that kind of a prospect, but you said that there are some people, when you are moving, you have to leave them behind.
Yes.
And
so, wait.
So I can't believe that we have already done like 55 minutes. So let us come and talk about talents. Verona, how did you come into your talent of being an author, a motivator? How did you start out? What was the process? What prodded you into that line?
Well, actually, a writer is something that I always been doing. As long as I can remember holding a piece of pencil in my hand. Let me tell you a little story. See, my parents never made it far in education. My mother only made it to the 4th grade, and my father only made it to the 6th grade.
Wow.
But they instilled something in their children, and that was education.
Mhm.
And my father said something to me years ago. He said the dullest piece of pencil is better than no pencil at all. And that stays in my head. And his soul is resting, and I decided to carry his legacy with that dull piece of pencil and continue to write on his legacy as I go on and honor them with that dull pencil. And you see, something motivating was always, I'm from a very big family and I fall on the bottom. So I learned to encourage myself a lot, but I learned something else. I learned to encourage somebody else with me. As much as I've fallen on the bottom of the children, I'm always the one that they depend on. I'm always the CPU of the family. So that is
I like that.
and I use
I like that, Verona. You're the CPU indeed.
Yes, I'm the CPU of the family. So I use that. And when I use that, I just tweak my skills. Because it's the natural gift that was implanted in me that I just tweak it a little and said, okay, let's go. I know what my daddy said, and I know what I was created for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Jamaica. And I remember going back to Jamaica a couple of years ago. And what was amazing, there was someone in probably my 2nd grade class that approached me. And I did not remember this guy for nothing. Maybe he looked different, I don't know. But I didn't remember him. And he said to me, Verona, and I pulled back because I couldn't figure out who he was.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, let me tell you something, I will never forget you. And I really took that like, really? He said, yes, because I remember when I was struggling, you were right there with me.
Wow.
That's right.
I was out of breath because it took me a while to get out who this guy was. And he gave me a scenario. And when he gave me that scenario, I said, well, thank you for remembering me. Now I know my purpose.
Amen. Amen.
That
Amen.
is why I always say, remember the people that have helped you and have been kind to you along the way.
Yeah.
And people have a tendency to forget, like, okay, remember these people that were there for you. You understand?
It's a
Let me tell
journey.
you something. You have to remember people who are good to you. Do not take advantage of the people that open doors for you, that assist you, that speak positive words into your life. And I say that why? Because God can use and send anybody. Most people are caught up on race and nationality, but what if God didn't send you a Black person to encourage you? What are you going to do? Forget the people that help you along the way? You can't do that.
And you know, it's funny, and I'm not bashing our Black persons because other nations, every nation has their own advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I find that like a lot of times we are our own worst enemies.
Isn't that something?
That's it.
You know,
And we can't do that. We
it's funny
cannot.
because if you approach a lot of us, not very many of us are receptive. Not very many of us are, it's
The
funny.
mindset.
Today
Mindset.
I called the bank, right? Because I'm a part of an investment group, Tulson Investment.
Mhm.
And so I called the bank because I was trying to get some information for my group. And
Mhm.
the young man came on having a nice accent and thing. But then somewhere in the conversation, he said something. And I said to him, I said, where you come from? I didn't even bother say where. I said, where you come from? He
Mhm.
said, in Jamaica, don't know already because from you asked me that. And he said, how did you know? I said, look, as Jamaicans, no matter what we do, no matter how we speak,
You can't
as a
hide it.
Jamaican, we're going to hear some little thing
So
along
yeah, I
the
know.
way,
I heard people like that all the time.
right? And
Yep.
so, even this evening, I'll just tell you a story that we're talking about talents. And sometimes you don't even know what you do to draw a blessing to you because sometimes you do nothing. But God just puts something over you that overshadows you, that goes before you. I had a situation this evening, and I had to go to my rental office because I needed a favor from them. Um, and my son went, and the guy told him, "No, can't give you that permit to park that vehicle." And I was at home all morning, came in, took my shower, and put on a PJs. And I didn't even change it. I just took the keys and I went straight to the office. And I went to the office and the gentleman told me, no, can't do that. And then I explained the situation and I started talking to him. And I left with the permit in my hand, right? Now I'm
Nice.
just saying that we can't take no. And we also have to remember that the favor that is granted to me, I don't know when I'm going to reach somebody else and how I'm going to have to repay that or in what way, shape or form. But it's a passing down blessing, right? You guys
Yep.
encouraged me and I'm here tonight. Maybe somebody encouraged you guys to be where you are. And Junior has his own radio program. And I'm going to ask you, Junior, how did you come about starting your radio program? And as a matter of fact, is Speculous
Yes.
even your surname?
Speculous. Leave it like that. Well, I had a friend. I had a. I used to appear on radio station
Mm-hmm,
and DJ and radio before. I had a
mm-hmm,
friend from Reading. That's my hometown,
mm-hmm,
and he he used to be on the college radio station, and he always asked me to come over and DJ sometime. But
mm-hmm,
it was pretty far from where I'm at, so I'll go like when it's convenient for me. So out of that, that's long story. I had a friend that he was on a radio station which I was on, and he started out as a DJ in the radio station, and I said I would like to do that, but I'm a DJ. I DJ. I had my own DJ system, which I had a friend that we were good friends, and he went to jail and he left his DJ system with me, and I become a DJ. I wasn't even a DJ before, but these stuff I learned. I'm a quick learner. So when he came back from from jail, I gave him back his stuff, and then I started to build mine. So with the pandemic and stuff like that, I had a friend that was working at a radio station, and I said I would like to do that too. So he talked to the managers and stuff, and said I had a friend who wanted to become a DJ on your radio station. They called me up, and I said yes, I would like to do it. And they have me on a tryout. I did the tryout. I've been doing shows like on Friday night. It's called the Briscoe Movement Radio. They still want me to come back, but I have my own station now, which they said mother
Briscoe
had,
and
father had, but blessed is the man that have his own.
yes,
So
Briscoe was just a stepping stone because
it's a paving way.
Yes.
I learn a lot from them. I appreciate them, and sometimes you have to pay to learn. The stuff
yes.
I learned from them,
And
it's a
go.
gratitude to me, and I I never know like some stuff. Oh, you could do it. Oh, you can DJ from your house. I DJ from my house up into a server, and from the server it comes out to um all the listeners who are listening. You can listen on your phone. You can listen on your computer. If you have a smart speaker, you can listen on it too,
Hmm.
as well.
So you got to
So
learn. You gotta learn how to grow, to go and grow.
Go and grow. Exactly. Yes,
hmm
that's the
hmm
way.
but it's funny, there are, I people ask me, how is it that you are so giving? How is it that you like to share? How is it you're so friendly? I have a friend, she called me the friendly puppy because she says I befriend everybody.
My sister used to
But
call
guess
me
what?
that.
That's how I was brought up. I mean, we might have been amongst the poorest growing up in our little district,
Yeah.
but my grandmother was the richest. People
There
will
you
come
go.
into the area and they pass all the big houses out on the front. And if they want a glass of water, somebody will say,
Yes.
go around the corner, make two bend, go down that lane, ask the Miss Lee. She will give you a glass of water. She will put you up for the night in our little
Yeah.
1 and 2 bedroom house.
That's
So
right.
I'm just saying that is how I was brought up. And then, as I was saying to my friend, I was basically living two different worlds because I was living in the country with my grandmother, which, I mean, we never went to bed hungry. We had what we needed, but there was more that was wanted. And then holidays or some weekends, I'd go into Kingston to my father, where we have all the luxury. We had our indoor bathrooms, we had our television, we
Mm.
had telephone. So it's like I was in between two worlds. So you leave from the kingdom and you went back to your little dungeon. So
Yeah.
and then my father was always into business. And I tell people it wasn't strange to see my father supporting, taking all his workers because we were into transportation business. So when September come, all the book lists would come to daddy, right? All the uniform lists come to daddy. Remember, he's paying these people, but him just take it upon himself that him think that he can help the whole world. And
Mhm.
that's how he was, and that's what I saw. I mean, I remember when I eventually went to live with him, like full time in Kingston, I could take home friends who never knew what it is to see a telephone in a house. They
Mm.
came.
Yeah.
And, I'm from a blended family, even so speaking. I have sisters who are not my father's kids, who those kids could come to the house. And those kids would be calling my father daddy. And I'm like, don't call my father daddy. And daddy would leave them. Anything they want to call me, let them call me. They want to call me daddy.
Yeah.
And how many Jamaican men do you see are going to take their ex-wives, children coming to spend holiday with them? So I grew up with that abundance of love and
Yeah.
giving.
Yeah.
So I can't help but give that.
And that's the thing, Marcia, because I watch my mom. See, I'm from the mountaintop, and my family was labeled as the poorest family on that St. Andrew Hills. And I watched my mother open a house to the community. She was the seamstress, she was the baker, she was just everything to the community. And again, it goes back to what I said, when you plan something, you don't even have to say it. Actions
Mhm.
speak louder than words, as women
Yep.
Mhm.
say. When you plan something, it is embedded in you. It is embedded in that next person. Because I watch my mother and I watch all those neighborhood children who come to that house. My house was the first house to get a color TV. And every children running to watch Ring Ding. Oh,
Miss Lou.
okay. And my mother would be somewhere in the back cooking up the dumpling and the banana and all of
Hot
these,
mackerel.
feeding up all these children, and nobody got left behind. Nobody.
Right.
Before they go home, they were eating their meal in my house. So of course, why wasn't that planted in me? Of course, it was planted in me to give the same kind of love, to give the same kind of dedication, because that was already inbred. There's no way I can dismiss that. No way. I would put a shame to my mother.
Yeah.
And I would put a shame to her grave.
So Jen,
Yes, ma'am.
come back to you. Take it.
How was it? Oh my God. Growing up, all the neighborhood kids was at our house. My mom had food for everybody. Everybody would eat from our same pot. And I'm like, it's 7 of us, 9 people in the house, plus our friends. Now, if each one of us have a friend that, you know how many people that is? That's a lot of people. But
That's
it's like
right.
my mother's pot was always full.
never
It was
ends.
like
Always bubbling.
never ended.
Never
Never
ending.
ended.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, I used to say to myself, like, you know, they love my mother. They had a lot of respect for my mother. They used to call her what, 5-0? We had to be home when we had to be in the house by the time the street lights came on, and you could hear the kids like 5-0, 5-0, 5-0, Miss Gray, and I'm like, oh my God, and they yelling down the street, and everybody's like, you know, but my
Snap
mother,
about. Yes.
my mother always she always welcomed our friends, even though we didn't have that much.
Yeah.
But the little bit that we had, oh my God, it would just stretch to the point where we're like, dang on, mommy, where you get all this food from?
Always multiplying. And I learned that. The more you give is the more it multiplies.
Mhm.
You never lack when you give willingly and wholeheartedly. You never lack. You think you lack? No way. You
No,
never
no
lack.
way, no way, no
No
way,
way.
no way, not
No
at all.
No way.
So
And
go
and
ahead, Jen.
and I think that is why a generous heart and a generous spirit,
Yeah.
sometimes people look at that as a weakness. But do you know that within that weakness, God shows up to be strong?
That's right. You better say it.
Amen.
You better say it. You
Yeah.
better say that again.
Yep,
Huh?
yep.
You better say that again.
God shows up to be strong in the areas that we may be weak in. Goodness and kindness, that is it is normal, because when we come into this world as children are innocent and pure. They're good. You understand? It's life as we continue on this journey that makes us either hard or bitter or difficult and challenging, but our nature as human beings is to be good, is to be good people. But within that goodness, you deal with the yin and the yang, and in the heart of every either man or woman is wickedness.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
You understand? So you have to be able to focus on the positive, focus on the good things. Focus, when I say focus, you have to really, really, really focus on the good things, because if not, it'll make this pandemic even more difficult to deal with, because we're social creatures, we're social beings, and we're socializing now, but we still have to practice social distancing because of the COVID, and we have to be able to just still be nice, still be kind, still bless people and do the very best that you can, because I turn on the news, I get depressed. Like, ugh. I'm like, because it's challenging. So thank you, Marcia, for having me as your
So
guest. I
before we go,
respect.
I just want to ask each of you, leave a little something with somebody. As a matter of fact, before we go,
Yeah.
I think we need to gather again on a similar forum, whether it's, we're gonna have to set up something, because I think we each have our own talents. And as Miss Verona says, we are not in a competition, we
Mm,
are completing. And so we realize that, especially now with this pandemic out there and going, we realize that a lot of people have been displaced. A lot of people are now having to rethink how they have done things. You have some people who have had jobs for 30, 40 years who always thought that they would retire in that job,
Yeah.
right? And now they have to reshape, rethink the mind, because that job is no longer there. And it's like
Definitely.
they are just, they are beside themselves. So, I mean, as a coach myself, but I coach newborn parents. I coach parents of newborn babies because that's my area of speciality. Because, even when I thought initially to have done a podcast, my thing was not about coming in a generalized thing to do this kind of a forum. My
mhm,
thing was focused on dealing with children's issues,
mhm,
right? But then on the 20th of February, that changed when I got a visitation from the Lord, when, He spoke to me in a different way and a different light and told me the path that I need to take, right? And so I decided that I want a program that at the end of the day, I can leave someone thinking, I can leave someone in a more positive way than they joined the program.
mhm.
And I want to empower somebody, especially our youths, our teenagers. I want to empower them. I want women to realize that you're not too old to revamp yourself. You're not, you can't say, okay, because I did 30 and 40 years in a divorce and the man is gone or the woman is gone. You got to get up, you got to brush off, and you got to go again. You
Start
have
all
to
over.
start
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
There's
Restart.
nothing wrong with
Yes.
starting over. As long as we have life in our bodies, as long as we have breath, we can start over and we will
Absolutely.
start over. So, as I was saying earlier on, Jennifer, Verona, Junior, we're going
Yes.
to have to meet along with some other friends, we're going to have to pull other things into this, because we're going to have to put on a training session.
Yeah.
And
You were saying something about job. Let me just give you this experience I have, because
mhm,
I've been with my company for 20 years,
mhm,
and there are people there, like people were there for like 30, 40 years, and I see they walk a lot of those people out the door.
yep,
And uh, 8 years ago, I my company, they I guess this China, everybody were in what you call it, revolution, the
mhm,
labor revolution in
mhm,
China. They were excited about moving the company to China because of cheaper labor. They can make
mhm.
so much money
Mhm.
from China.
Profitability is higher.
Yes, my company, they we call it migrate or merge,
Outsourced. Mhm,
yes, something like that. So,
mhm,
and they, like, people I work with, I've worked with people for so many years, and people who were there before me, and I see a lot of those people, they walk them out. people coming in tears and crying. So there's no, there's this guy told me one time, there is no future in no job, no
Mhm.
matter what it is. There's no future in it. I see they walk supervisor out. I see they walk group leader out. I see they walk plant manager out. And you would think these people are solid, their foundation. So back to my story. I was in that group of people that they were laying off.
Mhm.
So they asked me if I could. It so happened in I think they start in February 2012, and in July again they have another big laid off because they were
Mhm.
moved. And the company asked me to stay on till October,
Mhm.
and I said, what am I gonna do after October? I pray. A lot of people don't believe in prayers, but I
Mhm.
believe in God. I pray to God. I said, Lord, can you help me that they transfer me? And it so happened that God answered my prayer. I'm
Mhm.
not lying to you. I I see it happen twice. When I was a little kid, my mom, we didn't have any food in the house. And my mom said, let's pray that
Mhm.
we will get some food. And I was so anxious. I kneel down and I pray. And
Mhm.
when I opened my eyes, I were expecting to see the food on the table. I was so mad. I said, why we pray? And
But
about maybe half an hour, I see this man. He was passing and he called my mom. He said, I had some food, like plant, like bananas and stuff, And he said, I I had too much at the house and we ain't gonna be able to cook this in a week
there you
because
go.
and
Mhm.
I want to give you some of it.
There you
See
go.
the
Honestly to
Lord
God,
sent
There
you
I
you go.
angels.
I could and my mother said to me, you see, I told you God would answer
There you
and
go.
she never begged him. He was just passing and he said, I
But God
had some.
answered.
Yeah. So back to the job. I prayed. So one day they call a meeting and this agent lady, she was the HR from another company, and she came and she said, we too have a layoff and we make a mistake. We laid off too much people. And
Mhm.
I need 6 people to refill those positions that we let those people go. And I stand up and I say, take me now. And she
Like
said
hey,
she
like
so
hey.
she said no. Not no, you have to fill out some forms and stuff like that. So I said, there goes. I I was one of the only black person there. So I think my chance is slim and you know, I forget about it. Then I had some stuff growing on my eye, so I had to do eye
Surgery.
surgery. So I said, let me use up this insurance before I lose it. So I went and did my eye surgery. I came home and I was laying in my bed and I heard the phone ring and there was one of the supervisors say, you need to come to work now because we're gonna have interview.
Wow.
And I I said, okay. I jumped on, put in my clothes and I drove up to the work. They
Mhm.
interviewed me. I came home. Didn't hear back from them. Then I said, I had some days to use. Let me use these days before I lose them. So I I I didn't go anywhere because I said I don't want to go on vacation. I don't want to spend up all the money I have and then
Mhm.
I'm gonna be broke after everything.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
was at home. I hear the phone ring again.
Mhm.
And this time it was the supervisor from the other job. he said, I know you on vacation, but and you coming back to work, you're going back to work Monday. He said, don't go back to your whole job. Come to this place here. This is where you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna work now. I
Mm-hmm.
said, I said, free. Oh my God. God answered my prayer.
Yeah.
So uh, a lot of people would give up hope. People go crazy. There was I worked with a lady, and her brother was working with the same company I had. That company was in another city, and they had the same layoff like what we have. They moved with us, all these stuff. They were moving to China, or they
Mm-hmm.
moved to China, or they moved it to Mexico. So the lady, the brothers, the brother was working. They were working together, same place, and I don't know what happened, but the brother took his life because he lost the job. There's a lot of people died when
Yeah.
all this stuff happened because
Right.
they give up. They give up, and they, so to be a
Yeah.
role model, are to you have to stay strong. You have to move on. You cannot give up. You have to just keep trying, keep moving, you know, and ask God to help you and guide you along the way. Never
Amen.
give up.
Well,
Never give up on your dream. And as Verona said, she's here and she's not in a competition with you. You're not in competition with nobody but yourself. So
mm-hmm.
each person have to look for their own dream and follow their own path.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, well
Yeah.
said. And that is why, as I said before, we are powerful women. We are more powerful than we even think or know. And we have, my grandmother would say, we have backative. We have resources that we can pull upon.
Yeah.
And so I challenge us tonight before we leave, because as I said, this program is about empowerment. Because at the end of it, as I said, we desire, we aspire, we achieve, but at the end of it all, we must inspire. Inspiration is what we want to give. We want to give people hope. We want to give people a sense of knowing that we are going to make a difference in their lives. That's what
Yes.
Marcia's a bite and a mouthful is all about. Making a change, making a positive difference in people's life. And so, Jennifer, Verona, Junior, I am going to be calling upon you as a part of our resource team because we are going to plan a training session, a motivational session, something we're going to be planning in the very
Okay.
near future that we are going to be seeking to empower not just women, because a lot of times our men are affected, but because
Yeah.
men are under the umbrella of a man is not supposed to
Macho.
whine and a man is not supposed to
Ego.
Yeah.
cry and a man is
Yes.
not supposed to
Yes.
complain
Ego.
because they
Yes.
are macho and that they can do all things. But every single one of us as human beings, we come under pressure and we have cracking moments. And that
Yeah.
is why, and Jennifer will tell you that the suicide rate is higher
Mhm.
amongst men than women. And that is
Mhm.
why, as women, we sit down and we laugh and we talk and we say, blasted man, and give me trouble here. And we talk about our men and we laugh about it and we whatever. Marky doesn't stop us from worrying about it when we go home, but at least we are getting something off. Men now, because of the pride and because of the whole
Yeah, they
macho,
gotta
because of
talk
They
the
find
about
whole
it.
stuff to
Yeah.
issue,
do.
they can't talk
Machismo
Yeah.
about
and
it because them
they
Yeah.
want
don't
them brethren know so that they don't have
exactly.
this problem or they're encountering that kind of a problem. And so they internalize a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So we are going to be working on that forum where we are going to be planning, organizing, structuring, and then we're going to be coming back to you, Facebook world, YouTube, all our viewers, all our well wishers. We are going to be coming back to you with a powerful presentation that we're going to be putting on to empower you, to show you how you can maximize, how you can pull up on your talents and your potential. Because a lot of times people have these things in them and they don't realize that it's a business venture that they have. They just take it
Yes.
for a little no show, you know. Oh, I can do hair, man, but you know, oh, I can do makeup, but you don't realize it's a business. It's a talent that the Lord has put in your hands,
Yeah.
you know. So we're going to show people how they can maximize, how they can use the talents that they have to their advantage. And
And I
so,
want to jump in and say something right there.
sure, Verona.
I want to jump in and say, challenge your challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And when you challenge your challenges, show up scared. And I'm going to give you 3 words. Show up with your
Do it
flaws,
anyway.
You're going to give us what? 3 words. What are those 3 words?
flaws,
Mm-hmm.
your failures, and your
Mm-hmm.
faults. And when you
Mhm.
show up with those 3 words, show up scared and do that which you were created to do.
Amen.
Anyway, yes.
Okay.
Amen.
Okay,
Amen.
before you leave,
Amen.
Master,
Mhm.
I would like you to tell your audience to tune into my radio and every Friday night at 7 p.m. and Saturday 7 p.m. and Sunday 5 p.m. on the Junior Ruby Reggae Radio. I'm on the Xenia Radio. They can find me in the Xenia Radio app. If they download the Xenia Radio app, they can add my radio station, Junior Ruby Reggae Radio, as their favorite radio, and you can listen to live DJ. I'll be live DJ. My radio station is 24/7, and I go live on Tuesdays and Fridays, Saturday, and Sunday. So you can listen to all the good reggae music. I give you modern reggae to old reggae, new reggae. It's a reggae station. Don't look for R&B on it, because if you listen to a country station, you're gonna hear
Mhm.
just country music. I'm
Okay.
doing reggae music.
You're doing a blend. You're doing a mix.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So, Verona, can you tell people how can they find you?
You can find me
As an author, as a motivational speaker, how do someone listening, how do they find you? Because you've left us with not just a bite tonight, but a whole mouthful. How do we find you?
Well, swallow. I'm telling the audience, swallow. Take it and swallow. Swallow
Girl,
and
you're a
digest.
trip.
And when you swallow and digest, all of that, you can follow me anywhere on social media at Verona Willis Brown. I do have a podcast and Are You Free Enough page where I do interview authors. I'm an author myself, so I interview authors, and not only authors. I am waiting for storytellers, and I'm waiting for those who have work or work in progress. It's just a simple podcast where I show support, where I lift you up, where I help you grow, where I help you build, where I help you let you know that you are never and you are not alone. So if you have a book that you're working on, if you have a book that's already out, if you have a story, I said, come over to All You Free Enough platform and let us grow and build together. That's why I am here.
Grow. We're gonna go, we're gonna grow, and we're gonna glow, right?
Glow on it on.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so, Jen, how do they find you? Because Julie
How do
has
they
already told
find
us
me?
how to find him. How do we find you, Jen?
At https at www.jennifergray.org, and that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
So what if somebody
Mm,
don't remember all of that long HTTTTT? How do they
Choices.
just find Jennifer Gray? Is it easier to
Choices
find
Life
you as
Coaching.
Jennifer's Perspective
Just
or
do-
Jennifer Gray?
Just do Google Choices Life Coaching.
Okay.
That's it. And
Okay.
Jennifer's Perspective podcast. And if you want to get a copy of my book, just type in my name, Jennifer Gray, on Amazon, and you can pick up a copy of my book. And that would be Business Success for Coaches and Counselors, Marketing Basics Led by the Spirit. And I think that's it.
Okay. And Verona, you are also on Amazon, right?
Yes, my book is on Amazon.
And are you free enough?
It's like this. This is the book.
Are you free enough?
Or are you free enough too?
Okay, great. Awesome. and Junior,
That's a question. Let me say that. Let me throw it in there. It's a question. And let me throw this in there, Marcel. Give me 1 second. Let me throw that in there. It's a questionable title because I want you to question yourself whether you are free enough mentally. And I want you could write, audience, you could write this down too. See, I'm a writer, so I write everything down. So I'm trying to encourage youths and everybody else to learn to write. It's a question. Are you free enough mentally? Are you free enough emotionally? Are you free enough physically? Are you free enough spiritually? Are you free enough financially? Are you free enough sexually?
I know that's right.
You didn't have to throw in.
That's a lot of questions. That's a lot of questions.
That's why I'm looking at the end, you know.
To the end, right?
That's why I'm looking at the end.
I quite understand that. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Marcia Harris, Marcia Sia Harris. And so every week people ask me, how did you get the name Sia? And so every week I will tell you the little story until you have gotten it and I don't need to explain it anymore. So I work as a baby nurse. So I would go into families and, you know, there are all the siblings in the house. But, you know, in Jamaica, my name is pronounced Marcia, right? Here, they pronounce my name Marsha, even the parents. And so it takes a lot for you to go in and say, oh, I'm not Marsha, I'm Marcia. So, you know, the poor kids, if the adult is having it so hard, can you think about the children? So I remember this little one day he said, is your name Sia? And I'm like, oh, that could work. And the mother was like, no, her name. And I said, oh, I like that little thing, Sia, right? So then again, when I was thinking, when I started to do Facebook Live, I don't know, one day I was just driving and the thought just came to me, Sia, bite and a mouthful. Because the kids can't say Marcia, which is a full mouthful, but they gave me a bite. They gave me Sia. And that's what I'm blessed with. So until next week, we will be having representatives here next week from UJA. That's the Union of Jamaican Alumni Association. We will have the president here with us next week, along with some of our executives, where we will be looking at giving back, what is UJA, and all the above. So we implore you, spread the word. And guess what? There are many of us who are from not just Jamaica, but many islands. And a lot of you migrated here. And some of you has never one day gone back to your alumni, your basic school, your primary school, your prep school, nothing. Now that we are in a crisis, I am imploring you, we all need you. We need to empower our children because they are tomorrow's future. We just spoke a while ago about how can we make a difference. Let us make a difference in the life of a child right now. Let us not only empower the children, because a lot of our parents are not able to help the children right now. Why? Because they themselves are not literate, semi-illiterate, or technologically illiterate. Let us empower a nation for tomorrow's building. So we're not just helping the children when we give back. We are helping the parents so that they can help the children. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in with us this evening. And we really appreciate you. And we thank you. I myself am an author. I have a couple books out on Amazon. As you can see, I have COVID, Go Away right there. I have 2 Cats and a Hat. I have Baby's Little Helper, which is coming out soon, which is a coloring and activity book. And I also have a baby logbook, which is what you really use, as it says log, just to log details on babies and children. So until next time, I'm shouting out also my friend from Paparazzi Jewelry. Every week I promise to shout out a small business person. Veronica Gallimore. If you look on Facebook Live, you're always seeing her. So if you need a nice little $5 outfit, as a little accessory, go on onto Facebook Live and support her. Okay? Until next week, thank you so much for joining me. And guys, it was awesome speaking to you. I can't believe we're already here for 1 hour and 40 minutes. But it has been an awesome night. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me in this
You're
seat.
welcome.
Thanks for giving me the confidence, the booster, guys, Jennifer, Verona, and Junior. Thank you.
You're
Words are
welcome.
not enough to
Thank you.
express my gratitude.
My
Until
pleasure.
next time, have a blessed night, you all.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye now.
Oof. Wow. Are we still on the air?
Yes, we are. I'm trying to
Oh
end the
my
broadcast, but
gosh.
it won't
It was
go.
nice speaking to you, Veronica. Woo, girl. Wow. What is
I'm
the, let
trying.
me see your book. What is the title of your book? Hold it up. Let me
Hold
see.
on. Let me get off the live broadcast.
Oh wow, we still live? Just hit
Yes.